Okay, today we're going to talk about the May energy update. Now, this may hit you anytime. I'm sorry, I couldn't help that. That's a bad joke. But this could be watched anytime that you're watching it. Go figure. But in particular, this is for May 2024. But if you've been drawn to this video, this is for you right now because that's how energy works. So stay with me and let me know if you're feeling any of these things, no matter when it is that you watch this. The first thing is you're going to be feeling like it's really time to step into your own life purpose. Now, what is life purpose? Some people are like, there is no purpose. Why do we have to be chasing a purpose? Your life purpose may be to just simply be present and to live and breathe. I mean, honestly, that brings a lot of peace to the planet, the more of us that are really present. So life purpose doesn't always have to be like you're going to invent the thing that's going to change the way that we live our life or whatever it is. It could be being really present, being really loving, being kind could be your life purpose. The other thing that you're going to start noticing is that your life purpose is different than anybody else's. You're going to start really going against the mainstream. Like you probably hear, if you're in the world, that there's a lot of programming out there. And that's the nice thing about the internet, is that you can see globally in real time that yes, there has been a massive programming happening, especially, well, anywhere in the world. But in the States, we have a certain system of programming, right? And so a lot of people are waking up to the fact that, wait a minute, I'm only doing this because I've been told that that's what I have to do, but that's not in my heart. I don't believe that that's what God wants me to do, if you believe in God. And so this is a real time to come into your purpose, whatever that is. That can look very different than somebody else's purpose. It could be very different than what the mainstream is telling you you should be doing or have to do. I just wrote an email newsletter to my community of people who are in my newsletter. If you want to be a part of that, you get some insights and different things that I don't include on here, events that I'm doing and things like that. But I was just talking about how in my business for the past 11 years, I've hired different business coaches and looked at different ways of doing things. But the top 3 ways that have always helped me in my business the most, the biggest marketing strategies have been to meditate on what I'm doing, what my intention is, and that the right people who I can help will show up, prayer, and word of mouth. Those top 3 things have been the number 3 things that have helped me in my business. But a lot of business coaches would laugh at me. They're like, you can't build a business off of just word of mouth and meditating and praying. And yet I've tried a lot of different methodologies, and I'm not saying that nothing else works, but those are still the top 3 in my business that have produced the biggest results for me. So while that might not be everyone's business strategy, that's the best business strategy for me. So apply that to your life. Like maybe there's something where everybody's like, or not everybody, right? That's impossible. But a lot of people have said, no, you can't do it this way. But this is a time, let May be a time that you give yourself permission to do it your way. Maybe you're a trailblazer. Maybe no one's ever done it that way. Or maybe a lot of people have, and it's just what fits you, right? So this is also a really powerful time to stand your ground with what you believe in. And that also brings me to the next point. Like your beliefs might be shaken up a bit right now. I know a lot of my beliefs have been challenged in the best of ways. Like I love researching, sometimes to a fault, because I love finding out why people think certain things. I've researched a lot of different religions. I've researched a lot of different methodologies when it comes to acting, for instance. And I teach the miser technique because that for me is the way. That gets the results. That gets people out of their head and into their heart and into the moment. But it's not for everybody, right? I believe in God. I absolutely believe in God. And I have ever since I was itty bitty bitty. But the way that I believe in God may look different than the way other people believe in God. I mean, look at how many interpretations there are of the Bible, right? So many different interpretations, so many different religions off of the Bible. Now, how can one group be right and everybody's wrong? In my vision, that's impossible. So maybe you're looking at these different things and going, what do I believe? What feels good to me? And it's not just about feeling good in your body. It's about this presence that's bigger. It's an omnipresence that's bigger when you really know the truth of something, right? Because that's another thing you might be feeling, where old trauma can influence your body in a way that is actually lying to you. That sounds really weird because I'm big on trusting your body. But if you've had any trauma in the past, which most people have, right? It depends how complex the trauma, if it was something that was going on for years or if it was just one event, determines whether it was just, not just, but whether it was just trauma or if it's complex trauma, and there's all these varying degrees. But everybody really has something that was potentially a traumatic event in their life. So sometimes your body is trying to keep you safe, and so energetically you're like, I don't trust this, or I don't like that, but really it's the past informing it and not this present situation. Now, I know that that could be really confusing because you're like, Aaliyah, you say to trust your body and energy and it's all real, but now you're saying not to trust my body. Only when it's informed from past trauma. Now, how do you know the difference? That's going to come back to your belief system. Like, what do you really believe? So I'll give you an example. I don't know if you've seen, there's a lot of information out, particularly right now, about this spiritual war going on, right? It's good versus evil. A lot of people are waking up to the fact that it's not politics. It's not even this country against that country, or left versus right, or, you know, if you're in the States, Republican and Democrat. It's not about that. People are waking up to realize that it's good versus evil. It's like the comic book times. It's everything that was written in the Bible. It's everything that was written in Shakespeare times. And we're seeing it now in real time right now play out through politicians, through musicians, through what's going on in Hollywood, through the exposing of a lot of really not good-hearted people. And that can be really disheartening. That can shake up your beliefs alone. If you really loved and adored a celebrity, for instance, and then found out that they were a criminal or doing something really awful, it changes your view or your belief about them. So beliefs are being shaken up right now, big time. Your beliefs are being shaken up because this is a time to look at what is good and what is evil. You can go into the Bible to look at that. If you don't believe in the Bible, a lot of people are turning to the Bible. I know I've even been turning to the Bible. And I read it when I was young, but now I'm really reading it because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I mean, this truly is an instruction manual. Now, a lot of people take interpretations and it just can be a mess. So everyone's fighting, and that's why it's so important to look at good versus evil. So right now there's also a big thing against yoga, and maybe, I mean, it's always been happening, but I keep seeing all these posts that are like, yoga is demonic. This is a thing that we've been in forever. And this is, even if you don't believe in the Bible, reading the Bible, you'll see all these different plays take place, right? Of like finger pointing. We're right, they're wrong. We're right, they're wrong. This and that. This stuff has been going on since the beginning of time. But it's getting more heightened because we can see the whole world in real time like this. So you're like, oh my gosh, this is going on over there, or that war is going on over there. Oh yeah, let's hate that group. When I come into my own meditation and prayer and my relationship with God, I realize anytime somebody is breeding hate, that is not godly. That is not good, right? Anytime that you're condoning hate, Anytime that you have that vengeance inside and you're like, yes, we're right and we hate them, that is not a positive force at play. Now, does that mean that you could never get mad at injustice, or, that another group is doing something that you don't approve of? No, that doesn't mean that. But anytime that you're justifying hate, now you can totally disagree with somebody, but you don't have to be violent on them. You don't have to even hate them, because hate is something that destroys your own body, right? So this is a time to look at all that stuff. So I've been practicing yoga, for instance, since 2000, since the year 2000, and I incorporate yoga into my acting curriculum because it helps with presence, it helps with the meditation aspect, it helps with getting into your body and in the present moment and all of that stuff. Now, some people, because it comes from a Hindu religion, just like Christianity, a lot of different things have spawned off of this one book, the Bible, right? Christianity and all sorts of other religions off of the Bible. Well, the same thing with yoga and movement. Now, some people are like, it's not just stretching, it's demonic. And I go back to the same old adage, which is, what is your intention? What is your intention with it? Now, yes, a lot of the yoga postures are depicting different gods, because in the Hindu religion, they believe in lots of gods. Now, that can be very upsetting to Christians, because they say there's one God. In my book, there is one God, and this one God encourages me to look at all these different facets to come back into the truth of who and what I am. So it doesn't scare me to look at all these different things, to read about different stories. I don't have to adhere to everything. And that only helps me to make my beliefs even stronger. So when it comes to yoga, yes, some people practice that as a spiritual, religious movement practice. But you can practice it in a way that you are literally worshiping God, not all the Hindu gods. It's just very personal. But the minute that you try to get scared of being in your own body, and in my opinion, anybody who's scaring you to be in your own body, like, oh my gosh, don't move and breathe like that, it's demonic, that to me is demonic, right? Because to me, an all-loving God, and you can totally disagree with me, and that's fine, but to me, an all-loving God understands your heart and understands your intention and what you're doing. So if you believe in God and you're a Christian, but you also love practicing yoga and you're scared because you're like, I don't want to practice witchcraft or something like that, it all comes down to your intention, okay? Anybody can make anything bad with bad, negative intentions, right? Wine could be taken for communion and a way of a blessing, or it could turn somebody's life upside down because they're addicted to it. It all depends. Water can be nourishing for us, or you can drown in it, right? It really does depend on your intention. Now, the dark side will tell you, no, it doesn't. You should be scared of everything. So May's energy is a time to really look at what is good and evil in your mind, in your body, in your spirit, in the world. What are you seeing as good and evil playing out? I see hate, no matter how you chop it up, is evil. Now, some people go, well, God is hateful, God is angry. And to that I say, and not my God. My God is an all-loving God. My God is a God that loves everybody, but just like a good parent has healthy boundaries. So God isn't excited when you're doing something terrible, but because we're born with free will, we have a choice to do whatever we want on this earth. So May's energy is all about that. It's all about, that sip was really weird for some reason. I was like super self-conscious doing that. But I'm really, really thirsty. I'm like, okay. So this is a time to look at all that stuff. May energy is about What do I believe? Who am I? What's my purpose? Why am I here? No pressure, right? But you're going to be really looking at all this stuff and changing old patterns. So maybe your beliefs get even more solidified because you start researching or looking at all these different things. Maybe you switch up your beliefs. I know a lot of people right now are turning to Christianity and the Bible. Why? Because there's a lot of this big energy going on of good and evil. So what is going to bring you into that peace is so important. What is that? And it's never hate. That's never the answer. It really isn't. So to create, to express, this is love. This is peace. To me, that is God, right? We can disagree and have conversation. So wherever you're going, no, that person is absolutely wrong and I hate them, you got to look within. Now, there are people that I disagree with, and I know there are people that don't like me, but I can still send them love. I don't have to agree with them. I don't even have to adhere to what they're doing, but I can still send them love energetically. And that's how you can change patterns. So I've been even looking at things within myself. When that yoga thing was coming up, I was like, is this bad? Is this bad? So I started going down the rabbit hole to really research. And for me, in my body at this time in my life, it's not bad. If I change my mind later, I'm allowed to do that. So this is also a powerful time to change your mind, to change your beliefs, to check in and really truly evolve with where you are on your soul's mission on the planet right now. I send you so much love right now. This can be such a challenging time because sometimes friendships dissolve or transform, or relationships or business, when you really start looking at this stuff. That's why often people don't want to. But it's so powerful to do it, because then you get to be a full expression of yourself. Changing those old limiting beliefs and changing those patterns that don't serve you, I promise, bring more peace to the planet, even if people disagree with you. We're never actually going to have full peace, right? Hear me out, because as long as we have free will and can make different decisions, we're all going to have different ideas and different opinions about things. And I think to really accomplish peace is to realize that there's never going to be true peace unless we just accept that we're all going to disagree. And if maybe we could just put, harming people off the table. But, again, free will. So people are harming themselves, they're harming each other. Send love to yourself, question everything, and come into May feeling who and what you really are now, because the time is now to do what you came to this planet to do. No pressure. Okay, I'll see you next time. Let me know if any of these you're really feeling right now. And also, you might be feeling kind of burnt out. So if that's you, don't worry, because May is going to bring so much good rebirth and energy. And I send you so much love. I'll see you next time.